Hello and welcome to Kelly's Anesthesia Tips. Wanted to do just a couple of things today because I realize I am a little bit behind on putting out some anesthesia tips, but I've been very busy and then I had vacation and then Ian hit and all these things. I'm doing catch up, etc., and have a bit of traveling coming up. So what I'd like to do is I want to share something with you that I was inspirational for me and do some thank yous for people who have open doors for me. I'll explain that in just a minute. And then I want to end with some of my thoughts on upcoming videos, and some are inspired by people who send me emails, and kind of see if I can get an idea out there of when I do get an opportunity to catch back up, what is the area where most of you guys need some assistance and help. And just to ask that I know that there are a lot of good resources out there, and I hope that you've been able to find them for your anesthesia coding and billing tips. But if you have friends that are looking for some, please share this information with them for, so that they have an opportunity to have open doors for them as well, as far as educational content is concerned. All right, so here we go. More than 20 years ago, three people changed the trajectory of my life. It wasn't something that I had planned, but I call it an open door. One of those is Devona Slater, who you may all well know. She's just retiring, so a big, huge congratulations to her, and a thank you and an acknowledgement. Devona was someone I met through the AAA, who was our anesthesia group's auditor, and she had told me at some point during the times that she was auditing us, that if I was ever looking for a job, to reach out to her. So back in 2000, when I actually lost my job with the group I had been with since 1983, off and on in various aspects, through the anesthesia department bringing in another group of anesthesiologists, I reached out to Devona. And due to timing, she wasn't hiring at that time, which was not actually a closed door, it was an open one. I consider that it was probably a great thing for me that she wasn't, because at the same time, someone else that I had met at the AAA, Jonathan Friedman, had a partner, Marianne, cannot remember her last name, but Marianne and Jonathan had a company called Medful, and they were looking for someone to help them with a Florida client. Well, Florida was my home base, and I had been doing that for a very long time. So this is the kind of funny part of it. I went ahead, I got a business license, I got a tax ID number. They're both relatively easy. Just check into whatever your local state, county requirements are, because mine did require both a state license, county license, and a city license. But those, like I said, are not hard to find, especially with internet as our good search friend to help us find information quickly now. So based on those three people, I may have said it changed the trajectory of my life. I wasn't looking to do consulting. I had actually even interviewed at another anesthesia group, South Florida, that would have required me moving with my family, and my husband owned his own business at the time, so that wasn't really an option. But it was something that I did look into, hoping to stay in the field that I love, anesthesia. So feeling very fortunate that based on the circumstances and events as they occurred without any planning on my part back then, that one door closed, another door closed, but then another door opened. And, one thing that I like to tell people who say, could I do consulting? If you've got the experience, the credentials, etc., I would say yes, but I would always recommend to them have a second source of income, because it is feast and famine. That much is true. That's basically what I want to share with you guys today. To me, it's inspirational that friends that I met through the anesthesia industry actually opened the door for me and following one of my favorite quotes of all time. I've left this up the whole time. It's a Helen Keller. And sorry, sometimes you may read this to where it says happiness or some other types of quotes related to the same thing. But it all boils down to just keep your eyes open. When one door closes, another one opens somewhere. But sometimes we wait too long looking at the closed doors, and sometimes you'll see it say remorsefully or whatever. But yes, you're looking at the closed door rather the open door, and you never realize that another door was opened. We just have to keep looking for that. That's my inspirational story. Some of you may have heard it. I share it with friends, with acquaintances, at meetings. If you have one of your own, please feel free to share it. You never know when you might inspire someone else. So I also wanted to do two things. One, thank you to all of you who reached out to check on me during the hurricane recently. I have so many anesthesia friends that I'm grateful for. Friends, family, everyone. So we fared well. I know some of our South Florida folks did not fare as well, but thank you to all of you who reached out to me through whatever method you did reach out to me, and I appreciate it. Some of the thoughts that I have and ideas, one of them is from Leslie, who is an anesthesia friend of mine, and she asked if I would do something on intersex anesthesia claims, and she's actually sent me some things to help with that. So it's on my list of to-dos for potential anesthesia tip YouTubes as soon as I get the opportunity. So intersex anesthesia claims. I have a note about doing something again on surprise billing, dates crossing midnight, sacrohysteropexy. Someone had asked me about that. And then the merit incentive payment system, or MIPS. So if those are one of the ones and you'd like to kind of vote on it by doing a comment, or if you don't want to comment and you just want to share an inspirational story, please feel free. As I said, also feel free to share the channel with your friends as well. And I'll wrap it up with my thank you once again to the 3 people who may not have even meant to do this, but it happened for me. Opened the door. Thank you, Devona. Thank you, Jonathan Friedman. And thank you, Marianne. So I like to end with my be kind to one another and generous with your knowledge. You know, if you have anesthesia friends out there, mine just, like I said, stepped right in and opened doors for me, and I hope the same is true for you as well. If you would please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already, so when I do new YouTube videos, this will come out. I'm going to add just something on here. Doing YouTubes is not my favorite, and you know, I am trying to step into the new technology and way of doing things. So those of you who have very kindly given me recommendations on lighting and the glasses and all of that, I appreciate it. But I'm so old school. I've tried the lighting and wasn't able to adjust it any better. I did switch up the background because I kind of figured this is a nice personal one rather than an anesthesia tip content one. So thank you for your suggestions, those that you give them out of kindness, and I appreciate it. So everyone, enjoy your day.